Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a look at the global market for silicon photomultipliers, or CPMs. Think of these as super-sensitive light sensors.
Right.
We've got a recent 2025 market report loaded with numbers and future predictions, plus a couple of interesting announcements about new CPM tech.
Yeah, some specific product news.
Exactly. So our goal for you today is really to pull out the key insights from all this info so you understand where this technology stands right now and where it's likely heading in the next few years.
Right. We're not just going to, throw a bunch of figures your way. We want to explore the story underneath, what's driving this market, who are the main players, and maybe most importantly, why should you even care about CPMs? Across different industries.
Right.
Consider this your direct route to grasping the potential of these pretty fascinating devices.
Okay, let's dig into this then. So according to the report, the global CPM market is estimated to be around $154.82 million in 2025. What's really interesting, though, is the projected growth. It's expected to reach $290.83 million by 2033.
Wow, that's quite a jump.
It is. That's an average annual growth rate, a CAGR of 8.200% over that period. That kind of, consistent growth suggests that technologies needing sensitive light detection are becoming, well, more and more important.
Absolutely. And if you think about the bigger picture, this isn't just like a steady increase. It really points to a fundamental shift in how different sectors are using light detection. Imagine medical imaging getting incredibly detailed, allowing for much earlier diagnoses. Or think about autonomous vehicles needing to see everything around them. Key piece making these things possible.
So what is a CPM at its core?
At its core, a silicon photomultiplier is like having a super sensitive eye, where maybe a regular sensor might miss tiny specks of light, and CTM can actually detect even single particles of light.
Single photons, okay.
Which, opens up possibilities in fields dealing with really weak signals.
Right. Now, let's look at where this is all happening. Geographically, it seems North America currently holds the biggest piece of the pie, over 40% in 2025. That translates to about $57.28 million.
Okay, the biggest share.
Yeah, but their projected average growth is maybe a bit more measured, 6.7% between 2025 and 2033. And the United States is the dominant player within North America with about $45.20 million.
What's kind of fascinating, though, is if you look inside North America, while the U.S. is leading, Canada and Mexico are actually showing slightly higher growth rates.
Oh, interesting.
Canada's projected to grow at an average of 7.5%. Market size around $6.87 million, and Mexico at 7.2% with $5.21 million. So it suggests, a broadening adoption across the continent.
And what's driving that in North America?
Well, the report points to healthcare and automotive sectors mainly, and also defense applications, significant activity there.
Okay. Europe isn't far behind North America, holding over 30% of the global market. That's about $44.90 million in 2025. Their projected average growth is pretty solid at 7.2%. Looks like Germany and the UK are the major players there.
Exactly. Germany's market is estimated at $8.89 million, average growth of 7.4%. And the UK, $7.54 million with a slightly higher average growth, 8.0%. But you also have Russia, France, Italy, Spain. They all represent substantial portions, too. What's interesting in Europe is this sort of diverse mix of drivers. Similar to North America, yes, medical imaging expansion, but also a strong push from scientific research and, again, the automotive sector.
Now, here's where the report suggests things are really speeding up. The Asia-Pacific region.
Ah, yes.
They currently account for around 23% of the market, so about $37.16 million in 2025. But their projected average growth is a pretty remarkable 11.0%.
That's the highest globally, right?
Yeah, highest growth rate globally.
Yeah.
China seems to be leading this charge, doesn't it?
Absolutely. China's CPM market is estimated at $15.61 million in 2025, with strong average growth, 10.6%. But it's really not just China. You see impressive growth in India, like 12.9% CAGR, Southeast Asia at 11.9%. Even more established markets like Japan and South Korea are showing robust average growth, 9.5% and 10.1%.
So why such rapid growth in APAC?
Well, it's not just population size. It seems to be fueled by significant government investments in tech, a rapidly expanding manufacturing sector that's eager to adopt advanced sensing, and also a healthcare system that's modernizing quickly and demanding, cutting-edge tools. That combination is creating huge opportunity.
Okay, South America, the Middle East, and Africa. They make up smaller portions currently, but they're also showing notable growth.
Yeah, definitely worth watching.
South America's got over 5% share, average growth 8.9%, the Middle East around 2%, but with a higher average growth of 9.5%, and Africa around 1%, average growth 8.5%.
And within those.
Brazil and Argentina are key in South America.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia and the UAE are notable in the Middle East.
What's important to understand about these regions, I think, is the increasing speed they're adopting new tech. We're seeing rising demand in healthcare, research, even industrial uses.
So even though the current share is small,
Exactly. The growth rate suggests significant potential as they invest more in these advanced light detection technologies.
okay, so that covers the geography. Now let's dive into how the market breaks down by the type of CPM. The report says NUV CPMs, sensitive to near ultraviolet light, currently hold the largest share. Why is that?
Well, that dominance really comes from their excellent ability to detect very low light levels. This makes them ideal for, well, established applications like medical imaging, particularly PT scanners, radiation detection, and high-energy physics research.
Okay,
These are areas where catching even a single photon can be absolutely critical.
right. But the report also flags RGB CPMs, those that detect red, green, and blue light as the fastest growing segment. What's behind that rapid expansion?
That's all about their versatility. Being able to precisely detect different colors opens up a huge range of applications. Think consumer electronics, optical sensing, complex scientific research.
LiDAR too.
Yes, LiDAR systems that need to differentiate targets based on, like, their reflective properties,
Yeah.
and industrial automation for detailed quality control. As these applications get smarter, the need for precise color detection just keeps going up.
Interesting. Like what kind of new applications?
Well, you could imagine, say, agricultural uses. Precisely analyzing plant health by looking at the specific wavelengths of light they reflect back could really optimize resource use.
Okay. Moving on to the device type analog versus digital. Analog CPMs currently hold the largest share. That kind of makes sense, right? They've been around longer.
Exactly. Analog CPMs have a long, successful track record. You find them in a lot of medical imaging, various LiDAR types, industrial processes. They give you a continuous stream of information, kind of like a dimmer switch, right?
Yeah.
That continuous signal works well with many existing systems, and they often have a cost advantage over digital ones.
But the report highlights that digital CPMs are expanding rapidly. What's the key advantage there for us to understand?
Digital CPMs offer really significant benefits in how they process the signals. Think of them as being more precise in actually counting the individual light particles, the photons.
Okay, so better counting.
Generally, yeah. They usually have lower noise levels, improved efficiency,
Yeah.
which leads to better accuracy and faster data analysis. This makes them really well suited for newer, more sophisticated applications, especially those using AI for processing,
Like what?
like advanced medical imaging, high-performance LiDAR, very precise radiation detection. Anywhere that clean signal and fast processing are key.
Got it. Let's talk specific applications then. Medical imaging currently the largest share. We've touched on PET and CT scanners.
Yes, and the high sensitivity and accuracy of CPMs are just crucial there for early, accurate disease detection. And with, aging populations globally and rising chronic diseases, the need for these advanced diagnostic tools just keeps increasing. That directly drives CPM demand.
But as we've kind of hinted at already, LiDAR is identified as the fastest growing application. This keeps popping up.
And for very good reason. LiDAR creating those detailed 3D maps with laser pulses, it's fundamental to developing autonomous vehicles, drones, smart cities.
Right, the mapping technology.
Exactly. And CPMs are ideal detectors for LiDAR because they're sensitive and fast. That allows for very accurate distance measurements and the ability to spot small obstacles.
And it's not just cars, right?
No, not at all. Beyond transportation, LiDAR is finding more use in environmental monitoring, industrial automation, even defense applications.
The report also lists several other applications, like hazard and threat detection, gamma-ray spectroscopy, even handheld and mobile devices.
Absolutely. The small size, high sensitivity, low power needs to make CPMs attractive for a really broad spectrum of uses, from detecting tiny traces of radiation to boosting scientific instruments, even improving efficiency in manufacturing, like optical sorting.
Optical sorting.
Yeah, imagine machines sorting items on a production line based on subtle differences in how they reflect light. Or think about airport security spanners getting even better at spotting tiny amounts of specific substances. That's the kind of impact.
Okay, so if we look at this by industry vertical, healthcare, unsurprisingly, holds the largest share. That lines up with medical imaging being the top application.
That's correct. The healthcare industry's ongoing investments in advanced diagnostics, driven by that need for earlier detection and better outcomes, makes it the biggest CPM consumer right now.
And again, the automotive sector is highlighted as the fastest growing industry vertical, directly linked to that booming LiDAR market for autonomous vehicles and ADAS.
Yep. That strong push towards self-driving tech and just better safety features in cars is a major catalyst. All the big car makers, the tech companies, they're heavily investing in LiDAR, and CPMs are critical enablers for the performance-needed reliable navigation collision avoidance.
The report also mentions consumer electronics, aerospace and defense, industrial IT and telecom, even oil and gas. It's pretty broad, even if healthcare and auto are leading in size and growth.
Indeed, each of those sectors has specific niches where the unique capabilities of CPMs, that sensitivity, speed, compact size, offer real advantages over older light detectors.
Okay, let's shift focus slightly. What are the main drivers pushing this market growth? We know LiDAR in autonomous vehicles is huge. What else is key for us to be aware of?
Well, another big driver is definitely the growing demand for medical imaging with higher resolution, more detail. As medicine advances, you need more precise imaging, right? For earlier detection, more accurate diagnoses, CPMs enable that. And also, the increasing use of CPMs in radiation detection and nuclear safety. That's contributing too, driven by both, security concerns globally and the need for safer nuclear applications.
Makes sense. Of course, no market grows without some hurdles. What restraints are affecting the IPM market right now?
The report points out two main limitations. First, the manufacturing costs. They can be higher compared to traditional photodetectors, which can be a barrier in some applications where price is really critical.
Right. Cost is always a factor.
Always. Second, CPMs can have performance limits in really extreme environmental conditions, like very high temperatures or heavy vibration, that might restrict their use in some tough industrial or aerospace settings unless they're specifically engineered for it.
On the flip side, what are the key trends shaping the future here? What should we keep an eye on?
Well, a big one is the growing integration of CPMs with AI and machine learning.
The AI angle.
Yeah, for more advanced imaging. This combo allows for much more sophisticated analysis of the light signals, leading to better accuracy and even totally new capabilities in diagnostics, autonomous systems, you name it.
And the digital CPMs.
Exactly. That ongoing development of digital CPMs, offering that better signal processing and accuracy, that's a significant trend too. It will likely drive more innovation and wider adoption.
Sounds like a very dynamic field. And competitive, who are some of the major companies playing in this IPM space?
It is quite competitive. You've got a mix of big global players and smaller, more specialized companies. The report specifically calls out on Semiconductor, Broadcom, Hamamatsu Photonics, First Sensor, and Keytech GmbH as key names.
Okay.
And these companies are constantly innovating, expanding their product lines to meet all these different application needs.
Speaking of innovation, we have a couple of press releases here. Hamamatsu Photonics announced a new near-infrared, high-sensitivity CPM back in July 2024, specifically for LiDAR. What's interesting about this one?
What's really noteworthy there is their focus on improving something called photon detection efficiency, or PDE.
KDE.
Think of PDE as like how good the CPM is at actually catching those photons. This new one, the S167860515 nanometers, that's a really crucial wavelength for many LiDAR systems.
How did they improve it?
They use something called microlens technology. Imagine tiny magnifying glasses, basically on the CPM surface, that help focus more light onto the sensitive spots.
Ah, clever.
Yeah, it leads to better performance, especially for LiDAR needing longer detection ranges and higher resolution.
We also have one from On Semiconductor, a bit older, March 2021. They launched the first CPM array, specifically qualified for automotive use in LiDAR. Why was that significant?
That was a really important milestone for getting CPMs into cars widely. Being automotive qualified isn't just a sticker.
Right, it means it's tough.
Exactly. It means rigorous testing. It can handle the harsh conditions in a vehicle. Temperature swings, vibration, electrical interference, and the fact that it's an array, multiple CPMs on one chip, and offers single photon sensitivity that allows detecting weak signals from far-off objects or things that don't reflect light well.
Crucial for range and LiDAR.
Absolutely. Extending range, improving reliability, ultimately making autonomous driving safer.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up our deep dive into the CPM market for everyone listening, it really seems like a technology with significant growth ahead, primarily fueled by LiDAR in automotive, and advancements in medical imaging.
Yep, those are the big two right now.
And while North America has the largest share currently, Asia-Pacific is where the fastest expansion is happening.
Definitely the region to watch for growth.
And those tech trends, digital sub-PMs, integrating with AI, those are definitely key things to keep an eye on.
That's a great summary. It's that interplay, tech innovation, the needs of big industries like auto and healthcare, and then the geographical shifts
Yeah,
makes the sub-PM market really dynamic.
right. And on that note, here's a final thought for you to mull over.
Mhm.
Given how much we're relying on sensor tech across, well, almost every industry now, how might these advancements in photon detection, like SiPMs, fundamentally reshape fields beyond just automotive and healthcare in the next decade?
Hmm.
What kind of unexpected applications might pop up as the tech gets cheaper and better? Definitely something to think about.
Absolutely. We'd encourage everyone listening to consider those implications in their own fields and maybe dig deeper into some of the specific applications and companies we talked about. Photon detection is constantly evolving, and SiPMs are right at the cutting edge.